good.
Something.
And something was said. Have you seen that?
No.
And let's was say it's like when you got to have the last word.
Oh,
you know what
yes,
I'm talking about?
You have shown me that. And
I'm
something was
good.
said.
I'm better. I'm very better. All right, say less. And less was said.
There was no more to be said.
Right.
Bullshit baddies, chill with Ari and Leah made the house tonight. Best believe they gon' change your life. Bullshit baddies, those bullshit baddies, bullshit baddies, bullshit baddies, bullshit baddies. Best believe they gon' change your life.
What's up, baddies?
What is up,
hey. Listen, it's your girl, Luscious Lee, a.k.a. Queen of Sheba, a.k.a. half-size Barbie. And your girl, all that ass Ari, a.k.a. long legs Lucy. AKA run up, get done up.
Run up, get that up.
How y'all baddies doing today, man?
Welcome back. We're here with another episode.
And is. Listen, we got some good shit like for y'all today.
Almost literally in this one.
And you gonna get that. You gonna get it. I'm like, what y'all talking about? Listen, you about to get it.
Don't even worry, boo-boo. Don't
Right?
worry about it.
What we talking about today?
Today we're talking about one of my faves, fluid bonding.
Dun, dun, dun. And we are. And so I know y'all probably thinking, y'all be like, what the fuck is that? Right? Like, what is fluid bonding and all this? They trying to be nasty. And we are. Let's get it right.
Let's period.
You know what I mean? We always
periodic
is.
table.
We live on Nasty Hill, Nasty Mountain.
Yeah. And Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain
is
see what
the
I'm
mayor.
saying? So y'all know how we do. We gonna define it for y'all.
A hoe.
We gonna answer some questions, and I got a couple other questions too about it, which can kind of hopefully help y'all if y'all are thinking about fluid bonding after y'all find out.
Y'all probably
what
been
we
doing
talking
it
about.
and didn't even
I'm
realize.
I'm sure anybody that's like 13, 12. Anybody,
you had a tongue in your mouth. at
look,
one
you had a
point.
tongue in your mouth. You been fluid bonding. You ain't even know it now.
Ain't.
So, where we at? What is it?
So fluid bonding is the swapping of my favorite word, a body secretion.
Oh, Jesus Christ. How nasty is that? Like,
So
how
gross.
doesn't that it just do something to your ears? Side note,
Stinks is here.
Look.
We're about to put him inside.
we got King Stinks in the building
That nigga
running
tryna-
amok. Wait a minute, y'all. Wait.
Bro, we can't have
Literally
nothing
running
nice.
amok, like ducking and dodging our Profizi up in here. He's like,
He was smacking his head into the back fence, y'all. It's embarrassing. Okay, back to the topic at hand.
But
So,
secretions?
yeah,
Ew.
it's a body secretion, so it could be
I
saliva.
hate that word.
Know.
It sounds, it's like ointment or like that dreaded M word that I hate so much. Shut up. Shut up. Get out. The door.
Find it. Yeah, so it could be any type of body secretion,
Yeah.
body fluid.
Okay, okay.
Saliva is the most common. Blood, most often is menstrual blood. Some
Okay.
people are into like knife play, which can involve just like your regular vein blood. Feces, aka scat play, are all different types of fluids that can be swapped and bonded.
Does poop count as a fluid?
I do just because of the interplay of it.
Okay. I'm like, or do it got to be like diarrhea or? Listen, the people want to know.
Because that is a thing.
Right?
Some people do
Because
have
that's
a
a little more liquid, a little more fluid.
Yeah. So when it comes to scat play, that is definitely digress. When it comes to scat play, that is definitely a
Is it like a kink
texture
within the
preference.
kink?
Yes, it's
Okay.
a texture preference because some people do prefer like big, large ones, S curl ones. Some people prefer constipated poos like nuggets,
Like
and
just
then,
like do like Cheerios.
but yeah, like big, like nuggets.
Oh, like big constipated.
yeah. Like you really need to drink more water, constipated.
You're parched, bitch. You're parched.
Dehydrated. Yeah, so those are some aspects, and then obviously like diarrhea.
Understood.
Diarrhea.
Diarrhea. I got. So diarrhea. Is that like because have you finished your sex therapy?
I just
school?
finished my last module.
Yay!
Yesterday. Yeah, that's so fucking exciting.
Is there like a chapter in there on like different kinds of kinks and like fluid bonding and things like that?
So there's a chapter called like sexual diversity, and it talks about like kink, BDSM, and alternative relationship styles. So it does have different topics. It didn't specifically talk about fluid bonding in the chapter, but we had like side research articles that we had to read, and that talked about kind of like the physiological aspects and the hormonal aspects that play into fluid bonding.
Understood.
Which is really cool to learn about.
And then just to make sure I'm getting it right, with fluid bonding, it's always have to do with bodily fluids.
Correct.
Not like addition of like fluids into whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, not like dish soap.
Yeah.
Not just like water.
Like water, you know. Come on, let's do some fluid bonding, and let me pour this pitcher of water on your head.
That's fine if that's what you're into, but that wouldn't necessarily classify as fluid
what
bonding.
Is that?
I don't know.
Water
play? Or water. I feel like if you throw play behind anything, it works.
It works. It works. Water play.
Obviously, that's the
Listen.
If not like Christopher Columbus, we just discovered it.
Okay. I'll go with it. So you just finished your last module. Yeah. I know we digressing, but like, how does that feel? Because that's like so exciting.
It's been 17 months. So a bitch is tired.
Right.
That's probably why I slept so hard today.
Yes,
because
today.
I finished it yesterday. It feels really
good. The bitch sure didn't answer when I called her.
The bitch was not. Yeah. So it feels really good to be able to like not close that chapter, but put that down.
Yeah.
So I can now focus on my clinical license. So I can then start my supervision hours to be ASEC certified. So it's
how long is that? How many you got to get for that?
I have to do 300 hours, and then 50 hours have to be supervised.
I got you. That's not bad.
Nope.
I like that for you. So how long have you known like the term fluid bonding?
I would say probably about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that came with the education and
Gotcha.
starting to learn things like that and not different partners, a partner I had where we were very much exploring and learning different things. So we did a lot of research within that relationship as well.
Yeah, I got you. What did you call it before then?
Nothing.
I
didn't know. I just didn't know that's what it was. I knew it enhanced the like intimacy and connection I had with partners when I would do it, but I didn't know it had a title.
Fair. So you mentioned like blood, you mentioned scat, like urine, you know, all of these different things. What kind, and it also includes like saliva, which is kind of like the thing that we said earlier, which like if you're kissing, you swap and spit with somebody, that is fluid bonding.
It is.
Yeah. Do you think like, is there levels to this shit? You know what I mean? Like elementary level is like
it's fair to like say one fluid bonding or one type of fluid bonding is higher or lesser than another. It's all within the same. I just feel like society's perception of them may be different. Like people may view
like more acceptable.
Yeah, so people may view scat play as really, really like taboo because when 2 Girls 1 Cup came out, like that was. Do you fucking remember that?
I don't remember it.
2 Girls 1 Cup was like that. Bro, Feezy's not here for it.
Wait, what is? I don't think I ever seen it.
So 2 Girls 1 Cup was this like porn that like hit the web back in the 2000s, early 2000s, I believe. Maybe mid, and it was just 2 girls doing scat play, but nobody knew what it was. That was kind of the first time any of that came into mainstream.
Got it.
So I think from maybe that instance and like my generation and the people I've been around, that's where it's become so scandalous. But I don't think there's any different.
People will find a reason to scandalize anything.
Yeah,
like to
absolutely.
label anything as a scandal. It's ridiculous.
It is.
I hate it
because like it don't matter. Like I was doing it's called a sexual reassignment, sexual attitude reassessment.
Okay.
And
I'm
SAR.
like,
yeah, sexual attitudes reassessment. So that's a SAR. And during that SAR, they were talking about how when somebody's
is that the one where you had met your best friend?
Yes. I did. Oh my God. Shit. Anywho, yeah. So during that SAR, we had talked about how if somebody's talking about something they're into, whether sexually or not, and particularly sexually, and your first thought is that sanitary, then that's actually part of kink shaming. Just for a tidbit. So, and I say that because a lot of people, when they think about like scat play, that's their first thought. Like why would you want to do that? That's gross. Yeah. Like that's scandalous, all those things. And it's like, don't yuck somebody's yum.
I get that.
It don't matter.
One thing we don't do here on the Baddies is like kink shame people.
No.
Right?
I yell at people when they try to kink shame.
Go away. Do you really?
Yeah.
You shame them for you shame them for kink shaming.
Exactly. Get out and be gone.
Do you not try to just educate?
If I believe they would be receptive to it.
That's fair.
I have stopped wasting my voice on people who are bigots.
I got you. That's fair. So for you had the language. You didn't got the language. Were there things you were already into, and then you found out it was called fluid bonding?
Yeah.
Like what?
I definitely like to have my mouth spit in. I just like to be spit on in general. Like I like to have, we're about to get dirty, Profeezy. Now I am gathering his belongings. So, I'm very much into like having my clit spit on, like having my mouth spit in, things like that. I like to have my face spit on, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
My face spit on and like it licked off. So like a lot of those things I've been into and not realize that
didn't have the language for it.
Fluid bonding.
Gotcha. It was just like, spit on my fucking face.
Mm-hmm. How do I know you don't care about me?
If you don't spit on me. Is spit the only thing that you've been into?
No, I've done minstrel play, so I've had sex on my
Lots
period.
of sex on your period.
Lots of sex on my period.
I don't have
it's
periods
so
anymore.
Good for my cramps. Like, yeah, I don't really anymore, but yeah, it's really, really good for my cramps. Like having an orgasm when I'm on my period provides me a lot of pain relief.
I agree. Oh yeah, when I used to have that shit, I love period.
I'm not
sex.
trying to take ibuprofen. I'm trying to take a dip.
Right, like I love. Fuck that pill.
Need something longer.
Like I want that punk ass pill.
No, I do not want it.
No, I agree. Like it's something about period sex that like that's always, and for me it took a while to kind of say, oh, like this is a thing that I'm into, and it took a while for me to back in the day again when I used to have a period and like way prior to the 1600s. But being even comfortable saying that out loud, that like I like to have sex on my period, and like feeling comfortable saying it, and like being okay if people weren't okay with it. Do you know what I mean?
Own your shit.
Yeah. It takes a while for people to be able to do that too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But what else? Anything else that you're into like with fluid bonding?
Squirting, so female ejaculation.
Yeah,
I like to squirt in people's mouths.
Yeah. Wait, what did you do? So y'all.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
So look, whenever, I can't even get it out. I can't even get it out. So we'll be talking, right? And she'll like be telling me a story about somebody, and somebody did something like really good that was like, let's say she's at work or whatever, and they did something just really positive that she absolutely loved, where they was advocating for somebody, or like they was just on their shit. And her thing is, if you want your fucking face set on, what is it?
If you want your face set on, just
set
say
on,
that.
because she's like, because I'm trying to fucking murder you. Like that's what
if y'all ever hear like somebody died in Ariel's life and it was by drowning, y'all gonna know what's up. Y'all gonna know what's up. Like, don't even worry about it. Yeah, I'm gonna be at court sitting in it. I did it, Judge.
She goes, because if he wanted me to sit on his face, that's all he had to do is say so. Because he ain't had to go and advocate for my client like that. I was like, what the fuck?
So serious.
Why you threatening people
with a good time? Like literally threaten you with a good time. Ridiculous.
Time. It gets me every time because she means so.
I be dead ass.
If y'all would see her face every time she says it, when I tell you, oh my God, she had me dying.
I'm sorry.
I
just love that shit.
I just remember that.
We were talking about squirting, and that's how you end up exposing me. Lord, I can't have no secrets out here.
It's just so funny. So, okay.
Work through
I'm
it.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's gonna come. It's gonna come. So yeah, no, she says that. So squirting, so menstruation, and saliva.
That's my big three.
That's your big three.
Mm-hmm.
I guess mine would only be like menstruation, when or if she ever come back, and then saliva, and only in the sense of like kissing. I don't think I've ever like spit on anyone or like asked Boo to spit on me or anything like that. No reason. It's just like hasn't come up. You know what I mean? Like it's just not like, not saying I'm against it.
No.
But it's like it just doesn't like come across my mind to be like, spit on me, motherfucker. You didn't like that?
It was the hard ER.
The motherfucker?
It was the hard ER. I didn't like that. I didn't like the hard ER. No. Yeah.
I would imagine that's how it goes, yeah. Motherfucker?
That's like the time that we heard this real dirty word. That girl was with that guy and he was like, I love your cunt. And she was like, oh my God. Why would you say that? Like, that is so vile. Like, I have to leave now, sir. Where are my panties? Like, we have to go home. And we can't ever talk about this again.
We're no longer talking about this experience.
Sir, you're nasty. That's so dirty.
Who even says that?
That's the C word?
Yes. Who even says that?
I would literally get up. Oh my God.
Does this classify as us shaming them for their vocabulary?
No, it's not. That's a bad word. We have to have some fucking line.
Wait.
Some line.
Draw some
And that's the one.
Let us know in the comments. Y'all listen, let us know on either our Instagram, or you can, leave a comment or anything like that on a review or something. Does any one of y'all say the cunt? Like, do y'all say cunt? Like, is that like, acceptable for you?
You know what I mean? Like, say it during the act of intercourse.
Are you
I somebody? Love this cunt.
Listen, y'all.
You hear
listening?
it like it's giving K. It's not even giving C.
If somebody say
KKK
during sex or whatever, I love your cunt. Are you getting up? You putting on your shit and walking away?
I'm calling my mom because now I'm traumatized. Mom, you aren't gonna believe what this man told me.
You gotta call your dad because now he gotta get beat up.
And my brother and my other brother.
Obviously, you're gonna get gang beat.
You vile man. Who raised you? We need to talk to your mama.
Wait, that's like a hard line for you. Like no,
I don't have very many. No, ma'am, Siri.
She trying to be in on the conversation.
She ain't get it.
She don't get it. Exactly. Siri don't understand why people calling people cunts. Saying cunts these days.
So gross.
Wait, what's another one of like your hard lines? Like,
I don't have very many.
Language.
That's
Nothing?
probably it. Yeah, I really don't have many. I thought I had one with like what?
Nothing.
I thought I had one with like bitch, but I got called it a couple times, and I was like, oh,
it did something.
Tickle.
Yeah.
It
did something.
We'll sit with it a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I didn't mind.
You didn't mind.
I didn't mind.
So let me ask you this: how do you think if you didn't like it, right? How do you think you'd address it?
In the act,
we got a whole bunch of digression.
Oh my God, y'all!
In this episode,
we'll get back to fluid bonding.
I will bad.
Maybe
the people need to know.
I've actually never had an instance where I've been called something I haven't liked, but if something has happened where I haven't liked, I just like, it's part of like safe touches, safe words. So I have a safe touch which is like a double tap if I don't like something. So I can double tap if I don't feel comfortable saying it, and then that also is connected to language.
That's fun. Do you have that conversation about safe touching before you and your partners begin to have sex?
Yeah, it's usually in the early phases of the relationship. So like with one of my partners, it's pretty standard. Like, you know what this is.
Yeah.
It's giving pineapple. Like, you know what's up.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay. So why do you think people make fluid bonding? Why do you think they make it so weird? You know what I mean? Like, people think it's weird. A lot of times people think it's weird. You say the term fluid bonding, even when you say what it is, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, ew, it's weird. I didn't, you know,
It's
why
just
do you
not
think
something that's normalized and it's not commonly talked about. So that's what I have realized with all kinks is like they probably wouldn't be as taboo as if we just had normal conversations and like
kind of like our relationship type conversations that we want to be having with people?
Yeah, like just talk about it. So for me, like part of the thing I do with my clients who come in for kink is like I'm very big on like be specific. What do you like about it? And that's for them to get comfortable just saying the language and saying the word.
They even feel weird about it.
Yeah, because of how we're all socialized.
Stigma.
So I honestly believe if things like this were just talked about in more open forums, then it wouldn't maybe be considered as taboo, is because people could be educated about it. And that's all it really takes is the education and the conversations about it.
Where would that happen though?
Spaces like this.
So one of my goals is to like have proper sex ed in like schools.
Oh God, we have to move out of Texas.
I know. It is though, because
or we get no legs Greg out of office. One of the two. Hot Wheels.
Honest, because like, have you seen this?
Abstinence only still in 2022. We went through we're in a whole fucking panorama and it's still abstinence only is the way to go.
That's one of my,
these kids are hoes, y'all. Don't tell them not to have sex. They fucking.
Honest, literally one of my clients fucking in the stairway. You know what I mean?
They
like at school.
At school. You supposed to be in geography.
The time that she got caught, she wasn't actually fucking that day. It's just they had fucked a couple days, but she was like, we weren't even fucking. I don't know why they tripping.
And that's
that on. But it's like, I wonder about these things, and I wonder how, different would things be for like the kids and the teenagers these days if we did have like proper sex education, a space, a very like an open forum for them to be able to ask questions and like get the real answers and not just like the colored, you know what I mean, type of rose-colored answers.
The like one that's based
on like wait until you're married and you'll be able to experience these things. But because
what do I always say? You do not become a sex wizard on your wedding day.
Right.
It doesn't happen.
Right. No, seriously, because that's what people expect, right? If you go like traditionally, they expect you to not do anything. No kissing, no like touching, no, whatever, right? And
if your palms get sweaty, get out of there.
You get married and then you're supposed to just know a switch. A switch flips.
And then y'all supposed to be fucking like rabbits.
And you're just supposed to know, and it's supposed to feel good, and you're not supposed to have questions because like everything is supposed to fit or whatever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But like just imagine how like interesting or how like much better it would be for these kids, turning into adults if they like were able to have those conversations and able to ask questions. I gotta, they keep giving me these teenage ass clients, and I got one now, and his mom brought him in because every time he's 14, right? Every time he talks to a girl, he talks about, like, he brings the conversation to like sex, right? But he's like 14, he's like 6'3", right? And he and like last year he was like 5'2" or something. You know what I mean? Like he was
not him growing a foot.
Like he like honest, you know what I mean?
Spurts,
and like puberty hit him like hard, right? And like
he probably wasn't prepared.
He wasn't, right? And I asked him, he goes, I don't know why I do this. I was like, you know why the fuck you do this?
You horny.
I said, I was like, what had you thinking about when you texting these girls? I was like, nah, don't hide your face. We don't do that in here. You don't have to, right? And it's like, I said, that's exactly what you're doing. I was like, you have sex on your mind all day, every day, but you don't have any way. I was like, you can't ask your parents, because even when, the parents are in there and we were talking about it, like they were open, but it was like you could tell like they shut shit down, right? And they're not willing to like discuss the things with him that needs to be discussed. Instead, it's like he'll ask a question and the answer is like no because this, right? Or like wait until like you're married, or
but
like
not explaining the like biology, hormonal,
and so he feels
bad
bad for having like these urges and things like that.
Well,
and he's like, I don't know how to talk to girls. Well, of course you don't.
No, your fucking hormones are raging. That's all that's on your brain.
So that's why I ask, like, what kind of forum or what kind of situation would like these conversations, like even like about kinks and stuff, be safe. And that's kind of why I say I want to have, that's one of my like major goals, at least in the next like 10 years or so, have like sex ed, at least offer it, maybe like not in the schools but like as an alternative, you know what I mean, to the schools, to where like you're getting these kids the questions, because some parents are hella uncomfortable because some like they don't know. Right, they don't have the language, they don't know, and like they maybe were made to like suppress the shit that they had going on. Of course, right? Millennials, you know what I mean.
Seriously.
So, yeah. What do you think about that?
I think that like you deal with the clients when they're at that age, and then they end up seeing me because they've had these like kinks and shamed that they're ashamed
right?
of,
and
like I
like
have to work with them to unpack all of that and normalize it. So
and I feel like I do, I do my best to, like, when I get teenagers, I do my best to try to like normalize, because a lot of the shit that they're going through is normal as fuck. Like everybody dealing with anxiety, and like the teenagers now. All of them got social anxiety. Well, why? Because of fucking COVID, bitch. They was by themselves for 2 years, not talking to anybody. They, no skills. You know what I mean? And those years where you learn how to sit with being awkward and find your people and talk to people, they didn't have any of that. They was by themselves in front of a computer screen. So like, how you think they're gonna feel when they gotta go try to talk to somebody?
Exactly.
I digress. Anyway, I'm sorry. Listen. My bad, y'all. Listen, I'm listen, because you can tell. Things. You can tell one of the things. Tell the babies what's going on.
Age-appropriate sexual education.
You know what I mean?
One
Just
of the things
tell the babies the truth. Yeah. That's all. I don't want to be fucking with them like that. But if I'm gonna be fucking with them, they gonna know the truth. You know what I mean? Yep. Anyway, so so you feel like just like our show, right, or like other forms like this
sex
can like help to normalize like kinks and stuff, and like just,
and not only kinks, just conversations about sex. Like, I really accept the fact that conversations about kinks and like sexual diversions and like the people who are on the outskirts of the sex world, because of how we're socialized, we need to first start with the conversations just about normal sex. You know what I mean? When I say normal, I mean like the sex that everybody is having and experiencing. Just start having open conversations about that. And then we can start talking about everything else outside of that. Because if we aren't even having the conversation about what regular penetration is, what arousal is, how your hormones affect your ability to think as a teenager, what's safe touches, what's consent. If we're not even having these conversations, we don't need to be talking about fluid bonding. We don't need to be talking about sex, multiple partner sex. Like, those aren't even in the fucking building yet. Like, we need to start with the basics so people can feel safe with further exploring. If you don't have a foundational knowledge of sex, then how are you going to know what to do, and how are you going to know the ways that you can even possibly explore?
I got you. That's fair. That's so good.
I love sex,
y'all. See her? Listen.
It's my jam.
So when you talked about normalizing, that reminded me. So every Friday we have Fried Wine Night, right?
Boom.
Now, it may or may not include wine. That's neither here nor there. Okay,
get out my this Friday.
Stay out my business. Listen.
Tequila.
Stay out my business. Okay, nobody ask y'all nothing. Listen, they ain't the perm. They look. They ain't the. They ain't the perm
at all.
Listen, the perm is we use this. We've been doing this damn near every Friday, at least once a week, because sometimes it doesn't fall on a Friday. But since 2019,
once a week.
But we do this for a couple reasons, right? we boss ass bitches.
Period.
We bad bitches.
Period.
And we got a lot of shit going on.
Period.
And so we need to have like time to literally like not think about anything, right? Like, and just like debrief and like relax and like just have good old fun, right? But sometimes we do use it for work.
But
right?
it still ends up being
but it still ends up
for us
being
to
like this much work. And you know, but we still get what we need out of it, and that's kind of what it was built upon anyway. But I said that to say this past Friday, because it's gonna bring me to a question I gotta ask you, or like you know. So this Friday we were at my sister's house, and we were talking about this episode because the bitches was late and playing in my bed. Listen, y'all don't even know. Why I'm telling y'all that. Don't even worry about the mule going blind, okay?
Is out.
Don't worry about the mule going blind. Just keep on pushing the wagon, all right? All right. So we was at my sister's, and we were talking about this episode and fluid bonding and stuff like that. Some kind of way we got on the subject about eating ass. You remember that? You were talking about... And
it's
so,
all like connected,
right?
It's all the
I
same
don't
thing.
know what prompted it.
I don't.
Do you remember?
I don't.
But
remember.
all I know is it was me and Shay and my sister, my niece, nephew, and my nephew was on the phone with his lady friend, and
not the lady,
lady friend. You know, I can't be giving names. You know what I mean? So because it's not his girlfriend. It does, huh?
Lady.
She
friend.
all of 15,
yes, 17,
something
right.
like 15. He was on the phone with his lady friend, and so she hears this conversation, right, about like, and then we get on like the eating ass and stuff like that. And my nephew's 17, and she's like somewhere around that age. And so we're talking about it, and so we look at them, and like, y'all, I kid you not, like his face. We were talking about this, and he's like
pure disgust.
Though, for those of y'all who just listening, y'all can't see my face, okay? But
like,
our YouTube fam, our Patreon fam.
he was not
like
happy.
Y'all should have. His face was so frowned up. I think it could have been the equivalent of like having somebody like shit on the ground and like drop a Skittle in it, pick it up and eat it. If you can think about that, right? That's kind of the face he made. Look at, there you go, right there.
So gross.
So that was the face he was making, and he was like, "Why would anybody ever want that done?" Right? He goes, I ain't doing it. Nobody better ask me to do it. And I don't want it done to me. Right? And like, so his lady friend says the same thing. And so me and her, we're like, keep in mind, we like 3-4 tequilas down at this point. And so, but we're, you know, being as not therapeutic, but like kind and like open and, you know, just trying to facilitate conversations, right? And so we're asking, we're like, okay, like tell us why, tell us like, not that we're trying to get you to do anything.
Yeah.
And, you know, when we talk to our clients and all of this, it's really about like expanding your mindset surrounding different things, right? Reframing things, right? And so we were trying to just ask them questions about, you know, what like gives them such an adverse reaction to it, and they couldn't answer the question.
No.
So what do you think, Pete? It was a long digression, but I felt like y'all would like the story. But what do you think why do you think the stigma is so harsh around like eating ass, especially because you remember that Kevin Hart it's the Kevin Hart, the one he did, and yeah, he eat ass. And he's like, "How you walk around with the I eat ass face?" And he's like,
But I honestly
what do you think? Like,
I think the stigma, as childish as it is related to like being gay, and anything related to like anal play or having anal intercourse is only associated with people who are gay, and particularly men who are gay.
Got it.
So I think a lot of that like fear regarding the different areas of pleasure, because the prostate is in.
Let them know. Hold on. Listen, for those of you guys who don't know, she's about to give you a little bit of an anatomy lesson, and this is really important to hear.
Yeah.
So I want, and when you're put your cup down, because I want you to.
I want me to use my hand.
I want you to talk. Put a cup down. I want you to talk with your hands. Because it's so funny because she's gonna be like,
yeah. So the ass. And so inside of the ass, you have your anus hole.
come on,
This is what I was doing, and the kids were hating it. And like about an inch or two in the anus.
Go ahead on and put it a little bit that way so the YouTube and like Patreon fam can see the depth, so they can see the depth.
Yeah,
you know.
So about 2 inches in is going to be the prostate, so it's going to be in this area, and pressure on that is like they call it the equivalent of the female G spot, which is about the same
about
length
2 inches
within
in
the vagina. So it'd be 2 inches in and up. So within the prostate,
y'all listening? For those
the
of guys
prostate,
who
that's a
don't
very
know
pleasurable position. So
G-spot.
licking around the rim of the ass can be very pleasurable because it starts stimulating the prostate.
Is that what rimming is?
Huh?
Is that what rimming
That's
is?
exactly what rimming is. If you're not into rimming, or if you're not really comfortable with full-on ass play, like internal ass play, you can plus on the perineum, which is also called the taint or gooch.
Gooch. Taint.
And if you like just press a knuckle on that while you're giving head, it can be very pleasurable, and it can provide the same amount of pressure as like inserting your finger in.
Yeah.
So we were talking to the kids about that, and it blew their fucking mind.
They was just like,
they were grossed out.
They were mortified.
Yeah. What? Cause you eating ass?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, so I'm the only one eating ass out here. Apparently in that room. Like, so yeah, that's one of the really good things about learning about the female. We are all over the place in this motherfucker.
We are,
episode.
but how do you like? How does that? How do you think it relates to fluid bonding?
It's all about anatomy. Like
Okay.
if you start learning about like the female sexual anatomy or the male sexual anatomy or intersex sexual anatomy, which is both the male and female genitalia together. If you start learning about literally how that is built, where the pleasurable spots are, how they receive pleasure. For example, the clitoris engorges. The clitoris is not just the little bit that's inside the clitoral hood. It's everything around the labias, inner and outer, and it's very large. It has 8,000 nerves.
It's erectile tissue.
It's erectile tissue, very similar to the penis. So if you start learning about how the organs are built, you can really start expanding your different pleasurable ways. And in particular, if you want to connect it to fluid bonding, if you understand female anatomy, you understand where the G spot is and where the A spot is. The A spot, which is about an inch behind the G spot, is actually what's associated with female ejaculation, aka squirting. So that is part of fluid bonding. If you squirt in somebody's mouth or on them in general, it releases certain hormones within your brain that can build the connection between the two individuals, and that's where the bonding aspect of fluid aspect is the physio.
Full circle, people. Full
Bam!
Circle. Full circle.
We got back here.
I know y'all probably doubted us for a minute.
Damn,
I don't know why they would, because like we've been doing this shit in season 1.
Ring around the rosy. So yeah, like when you learn about the physiological aspects and what your brain releases in order to build that intimacy, it's all connected.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. For you, when like things like that happen, if you skirt with your partner, if you guys have sex on your period, do you actually feel more connected to them? What about them to you? Have you asked?
I actually haven't asked. I would assume so, presume so, just based off of like the intensity of the intercourse that we have. Anytime I've had like period sex or like I've been squirting, it's been a very like intense, like high moaning, high touching kind of interaction with my partners. And I associate that with like being more present, being more into sex, when I hate saying normal. That's not the right word I'm looking for, because nothing is normal.
We'll go with that for right now.
No, I don't like
until you think of it.
Just with the baseline. Bam, baseline. So yeah. I will ask them.
Yeah. Tell them, and so this is interesting. Tell them about how you go about figuring out if you're gonna eat ass or not.
Oh, I'm very particular. Because it's all based in hygiene. And even with like, I have a lot of partners who want to eat my ass, but I don't let them.
Yeah.
So it's very much based because it is part of like an intimacy thing for me. And I don't find it too pleasurable. Like, I like it, but I don't need it in order to come. Now, like, head, that's something I have to have in order to achieve orgasm. So, it normally just comes, like, if my partner and I shower together, I'm more likely to be inclined to eat ass because I probably cleaned your ass.
You know what's going on.
So I know. So, like, if we've been out and we're at the club and then we come home and we have drunk sex, probably not eating your ass, probably barely sucking your balls. Like, it gets stank funk down there.
Be sweaty.
Yes.
Sweaty Eddie.
So it just really depends on, like, the circumstances and the situation.
I got you. That's fair. She said, probably not sucking your balls. Listen.
And I love sucking balls.
It's funny.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's funny.
Everything about head is hilarious.
It's really funny.
It is. Like, you own the person.
It is. It's
for
you know
those
what?
Have
you ever seen that meme that's like, it's like, I think it's a Peter Griffin, Family Guy, and it's like a grass, like a bush, but there's like a hole in the bush, and he like disappears into the hole. Like, it's Simpsons, and he does this. And it was like, when she give you head and she keep going, you know, and so it's like him going into the abyss.
It's so funny, y'all. It's like most males be like, yo. And it's like, now I can't stop. Now I'm on super sucker mode. Like, you're gonna die. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh shit. It's so
funny. Don't start squirming too, because now all of a sudden I get strong.
Right. Come on, strong arm McGee up in this bitch.
Not me giving She-Hulk. It really be like that. Like, you're not going nowhere, my guy.
No, motherfucker, you ain't going nowhere.
I swear, I'm trying to suck your soul out the tip of your dick. Leave with that hoe.
I wish you did something.
I wish. Got it on a coat hanger, leaving the house. What is that? Just his soul.
Ripped from the depths of his body.
Oh my God.
That is funny.
Police in this fucking episode.
Wait, I got two questions. I have two questions for the that I'm curious about, and maybe the people.
La peeps.
La pe-
Like the
La
Easter.
Pee, La Peepaw. They might be curious about also. So the first one is, if this is something that you're interested in, right, and trying and exploring, besides kissing, okay, like everybody fluid bonds if you're kissing your significant other, right? But if you're interested in taking it further in, like, one of the other right, expanding what you're doing, how do you feel like you bring it up in conversation? What do you think you do?
I always say, from a place of curiosity and consent, hey, I heard about X, Y, and Z. Hey, I heard about fluid bonding. It may be something I want to try. There's different types. This is the type I'm interested in trying. How do you feel about it?
Understood. I like that.
It's like
Simple,
people. I think people's
like
people expect conversations with sex to be like super
like
complex,
this big thing,
and it's like, no, nigga, can I squirt in your mouth?
Yeah.
Are you cool with that?
Yeah. That's fair. What do you think? How do you think you help someone feel more comfortable with it if they're like on the fence?
That's a great question. So if it's something that you're not sure if you would be interested in trying or be on the receiving end of it, especially in regards to like squirting or having cum on your face or in your mouth, things like that, it's a conversation that needs to be had more explicitly. If there are any apprehensions, you do not have consent, so you need to further have that conversation.
Can you repeat that just for the people with the cheap seats in the back?
If there is any apprehension, you do not have
not
consent. So you cannot proceed with the fluid bonding.
Do not pass go.
Don't
Do not collect $200.
Actually go to jail if you're trying to proceed.
Truly.
Please go to jail. So it would be a conversation, casket dead. It would be a conversation that needed to be had, and it would have to be a conversation based in that individual's concerns, and create a space where they should feel safe to be able to discuss it, because a lot of these type of kinks and fetishes come with a lot of safety and security needs.
Yeah.
You cannot do these things like cockhold, for example. I've been on cockhold for like 2 weeks, apparently.
I know what it is because you've explained it to me, but you're like throwing out terms that people might not be familiar with.
It is most of the time for married heterosexual couples where the male partner in the relationship likes to watch their female partner have sex with other men. Cockhold. So there are a lot of, like, I talk about the deep level of trust that you have to allow that space to happen and it be a pleasurable and an arousing experience for all three individuals. That comes with fluid bonding. That comes with anything in sex, that there has to be a level of trust and comfort to be able to have these conversations. If you don't feel comfortable going to your partner and talking about certain things in sex, then y'all really need to explore your sexual relationship, because that means you most likely aren't having safe sex. And safe in the means of like emotional needs, romantic needs, and even down to maybe the physical act. Because if you aren't able to just have a conversation about like, I like this, I want to try this, then how are you able to be like, I don't like this and I don't want to try this?
That's fair.
It's harder to say no than it is to say yes.
I agree with that. And if y'all are in need of a sex therapist and you're in Texas, holla at our girl Ari at
I don't have it.
God damn it.
Yeah, I got
BeyondVanilla@gmail.com.
BeyondVanillaTherapy@gmail.
There we go. Do you do coaching yet?
Not yet, but that'll be soon. That'll
because
be the next
when
year.
she does coaching, that'll be it's not limited to Texas, but if it's specific to therapy,
I can
help
you out, Mom.
Yeah, if it's therapy, you got to be in Texas. At where? What's the email address again?
It's at BeyondVanillaTherapy@gmail.com.
She is accepting new clients, guys.
Forever and always.
Listen. But if it's coaching, holla at us in a little bit. We'll let y'all know about that later.
Because we like them bad.
I mean, if you listen, gang on them, listen. And if you need other kind of therapy, right? Like not specific to sex, holla at your girl.
Yeah.
We coming at y'all from all angles. Shy me.
Period.
Shy me.
Awesome.
Anyway, listen, y'all. That's gonna be it for us today, y'all.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, listen.
Fun.
Catch us on Instagram at
the BS Baddies.
Not only at Instagram, listen, we on YouTube, we on Twitter, we on Patreon. What else?
I think that's
anything else?
Are we on the book?
We on that book, on that Facebook. Yo, wait. Listen, Profeezy. Shout out to Profeezy. Listen, I know y'all probably. I don't know if y'all get tired of it. We don't care.
Yeah.
If y'all get tired of us or not.
That's the funny part.
But like Profeezy come through in clutch. Listen, he get us together. He come through with a clutch. He get the setup. He get our sound. Everything we owe to him because we have no idea what we're doing.
Period.
But he helps us out every step along the way. Listen, at Eric will keep going, or like at what is it? Is it Eric will keep going? On Instagram, if you need a producer,
this motherfucking thumbs up instead of saying
if you need a producer for your podcast or any kind of digital thing or like social media video type situation things, not situ things. I'm making up words here. Holla at Eric will keep going on Instagram. Anyway, that's gonna be it for us today, baddies. Thank y'all for tuning in. We see y'all next time. Gang.